everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to ROC Movie Reviews. Yes, I know, it's been almost a year since we did one of these. I think it's actually been over a year. I don't remember. Anyways, we finally were able to get our new guest reviewer on. This is John, my friend.
Hello, everybody.
And we are going to be talking about the Da Vinci Code today.
You and I, Robert, we have observed history. We are in history now.
We are in the middle of a war, one that's been going on forever.
To protect a secret so powerful that if revealed, it would devastate the very foundations of mankind.
I'm into something here I can't understand.
Witness the biggest cover-up in human history.
Is the first Robert Langdon film in the trilogy of films, and Ron Howard directed it. So, for the story of this movie, it's kind of interesting. Actually, I wrote notes for this very occasion.
As did I, but I left them at home.
Hey, it's okay.
It's all right.
Mistakes happen. So I wrote that a murder in the Louvre leads Robert Langdon to uncover one of the greatest cover-ups in history, and it's also centered around Da Vinci. Is that loosely what it's about?
Pretty much for the generalization, yeah. There's a murder. One of Robert Langdon's, not his colleague, but a person that Robert Langdon knows is murdered.
Yep.
And basically, the police suspect him to be the killer,
yes.
And he's trying to figure out why he was summoned by this person who was murdered, and long story short, basically he's in this National Treasure-esque chase, except under the guise of Da Vinci artifacts and religious connotation.
Yeah, it's much more religious than National Treasure is. National Treasure is a little simpler in that context. Yeah. This one's more, actually, I think it was a bit of a controversial novel, wasn't it?
Yes, it very much was.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, kind of on topic, the third Robert Langdon novel, The Lost Symbol, was more the National Treasure type
get-go. I still want them to make a movie. It's currently in development on IMDb if you check. But
that's what they're saying, but the last I heard, Ron Howard and Tom Hanks said they just haven't found a comfortable script to make it into a movie, and they don't think they're going to in the near future, which is very sad because I would love to see that as a movie. And then, of course, Origin with the newest Robert Langdon
that's right.
book, which came out a couple months ago, which was, I think, the best Robert Langdon book.
Wow. Out of five
Yep,
books?
that's the fifth one.
Wow. So the fifth one being the best one, that's pretty rare, actually, when a book's, usually people think the first book is the best, right? So.
Well, I don't know if the critics would agree with me, but...
I mean, like book readers, maybe, or like
True.
how popular it was?
Dan Brown himself said that it was his favorite book that he's written.
Yes, that's right. I'm trying to remember if Da Vinci Code actually was the first novel he wrote. Or was it
Angels and Demons was the first.
That's
and then
right.
Da Vinci Code was so popular and so controversial that led to reprinting of the Angels and Demons.
That's right, yeah. But in the movie sequence, it's actually the second, even though the book is first.
Yes.
It's interesting. I mean, that's not the only movie and book adaptations that have done that, where they've done it out of order.
Right.
I think another one was I can't remember.
Well, any of the James Bond ones.
Yes, there we go. That's a good example. Any of the James Bond ones, yeah, perhaps.
But but it ended up working out movie-wise. They ended up it didn't affect the books anyways, because Robert Langdon kind of is like not like a James Bond, but he's kind of a similar type of character where it's like he's put in these different situations, and they're pretty much you don't have
resources,
and you don't have to watch them like in order. You can watch either any of the movies in any particular order that you want, and you're not really missing anything from the previous movie.
You could watch Angels and Demons first, and then Inferno, and then Da Vinci Code, or say swap those two around or something.
And the best part about the thing I like best about them is each movie has a different theme to it, and each movie feels very much different.
Yes.
The way it's filmed, the way its tone is, the way the cinematography goes.
I've noticed that, yeah.
It still has Robert Langdon as the lead character, which I like. I was talking to a friend about it, and the equivalent I had about it was, with the exception of Last Crusade, the Indiana Jones movies, where each Indiana Jones movie is different in tone. Where you have Temple of Doom, which is a darker from the original, even Crystal Skull, which is kind of like a B-50s horror movie type, like Atomic Age type movie with Indiana Jones in it, which I'm in the minority, but I actually like that he's in that kind of like situation.
I do too, yeah. Temple of Doom's definitely my least. I don't know. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is usually the one to hate on, but
yeah, Temple of Doom, I will admit, is my favorite. I think it's because it was, I was a kid when it came out, so it's like I have that kind of child nostalgia to it. I will recognize it's the weakest of all the movies, but
it is. It's also the darkest.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But that's George Lucas. He always goes dark for his second movies.
That's true. Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll see how Last Jedi turns out, if it's a new Empire Strikes Back. There's a lot of people are excited about that. So.
True, but we're getting off topic.
Yes,
here.
we are.
Let's
sorry.
get back to the.
Anyways, yes. So that's mainly the story in a nutshell, right? And this one's very religious based, and he ends up uncovering, one of the greatest cover-ups in human history, kind of, right?
Yeah. If you believe that, but it could go either way. But yeah,
that's why it's controversial.
Controversial.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, not to say. But yeah, being the Holy Grail, the lineage of Jesus Christ, or should I say his genealogy, that his descendants.
Yes. And it actually does a really good job of keeping you interested, or at least I think. And it's a long movie too, but it kept me interested with like where it kept going with the twists and the turns and the certain I call it plot devices that they use. I found that really cool, and I love Tom Hanks in the role. I just think he's great.
A lot of people did not appreciate him in the role. They said he wasn't really charismatic. He didn't have any chemistry.
I disagree entirely.
I feel like I can understand where their arguments are coming from, but I feel with his portrayal of the character and how the character is supposed to be, I think he nailed the character to a T. How it's supposed to be.
And now I don't know if people would see anybody else in the role since he's done 3 movies, right?
I remember my parents, when they first saw Da Vinci Code, they saw it before I did, and they said, we didn't like Tom Hanks in it. We would have liked David Duchovny of the X-Files to have been in it. And it's like, then I saw it, and I'm just like, no. I don't think anybody but Tom Hanks could have pulled this off.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I don't even really know David Duchovny. I never watched X-Files, so... But I think he's really good in the role. Actually, the supporting cast, which I also wrote down right here,
fantastic,
was really good. All 3 of these movies have a really strong supporting cast.
Oh, without a doubt.
Very different walks of life in the sense of like where the actors come from too, their origins. Audrey, I don't know how to say this. Tatow, I think her name is. She plays Sophie Neveu, and she is like kind of his sidekick. This, and also her arc, where that ends up going, I found really emotionally satisfying.
I did too.
Yeah.
A lot of people accused her of not having any chemistry with Hanks, and once again I disagree. I thought they had a perfect chemistry together.
Yeah, I thought it really worked, and it was very understated, but maybe that's why they said
that it
didn't. Really.
And that's why I like him, because in that one, and when we can talk about the other 2, he's not romantically involved with these people, so I feel that's why there shouldn't be that kind of like really big chemistry. He just met these people, and in certain situations, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have like this awesome chemistry.
Yeah,
But
no, not
that
at
being
all.
said, I still thought they worked well together, and not just her, but a lot of the other characters like Alfred Molina and Paul Bettany that worked together in tandem as the villains.
Yes, I'm glad you brought them up
yeah.
because I was going to. But yeah, they were really good. Paul Bettany was very sinister. Both of them,
Yes.
very sinister in the movie, and I feel like it worked actually too.
Oh, without a doubt. And I was watching the special features, and they were talking about how they originally wanted to get Paul Bettany, but he wasn't available due to other movie, and then
Interesting.
they tried to pick a plethora of other actors, and none of them were. They couldn't find the right person, so they ended up just like trying to figure out a way to finagle Paul Bettany to do it. And of course, Paul was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm in." They pretty much just said, "We want you to play Silas from the Da Vinci Code." He's just like, "I'm in."
That's really cool, and it makes a difference with his character
yeah.
because he's a very understated actor, but in this he's very creepy and he gets underneath the skin, or at least he got underneath my skin.
And he's a tragic character too, because he's not just like a cold-blooded killer.
No.
He's a lost soul who had this terrible childhood, this horrific events that happened in his life, and he was the church found him and rescued him, and so
Yep.
he felt this obligation to help the church and help the bishop, Alfred Molina's character.
Yeah,
Bishop Caramosa or
Aaron Garosa.
Aaron Sosa.
Manuel Aaron Garosa, yeah.
Aaron Garosa, and and he doesn't like killing at all. And the scene, especially where he murders that nun, and then afterwards he's praying for her soul. It's just you kind of you know he's a terrible person, but you know that you still feel conflicted.
Yeah.
Because.
You feel bad for him, but at the same time you don't like him either. But it's like you can't really decide like how you feel about
should
him.
should I hate him, or mainly he's kind of like a Gollum character where I more pity him, and I feel very I feel for him.
Yeah, and I think he's memorable as a character because of that. So.
Exactly.
Actually, I found him even better than Alfred Molina. Like Alfred Molina was good, but I found Paul Bettany.
Yeah, Alfred Molina. Not to interrupt you, but he was that atypical. Kind of not atypical villain, but he had that kind of like typical like villainous cardinal like Richelieu type esque.
He's got the face
Yes.
too. He definitely has the face, and he really sold that. And the last person, or actually, there's two more people that we haven't talked about. Ian McKellen.
Well, I think he just steals every scene he's in, hands down.
He's Sir Ian McKellen.
Yeah, I don't think we need to even talk further about that because he's just the play that he's able to do that. Be the villain the whole time while still under the guise of being the ally.
Yes.
Being the double agent, if you will.
Yeah.
And he just nails it.
I just because I love Sir Ian McKellen, I love his character too. I don't necessarily completely hate him either because he's kind of a sympathetic character towards the end of it.
Once again, too, but less so because he knows he's doing wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas Silas is kind of still just, I feel like he's never developed morally, if you will. But Ian McKellen, he's old enough to know the difference, I believe. But that being said, yes, he thinks he's doing a crusade. He thinks he's doing what he's doing to be just.
Yep. He's very proper, and his chemistry with Tom Hanks is great.
Oh, and that's the other thing. The chemistry between the two of them. The scene where they first meet and he's got to enter. After he's got to use the right passwords. It's like, coffee or tea?
Yes.
Tea, of course.
And why, and
Yes.
just that there's so much layers to that, just that one scene in general.
And then when Ian McKellen is explaining the whole Grail and the history, and then they're arguing, they're doing the history arguments, they're being very philosophical, and it was very satisfying to watch.
It was, yeah. And just talking about how I want to watch the three films again, especially Da Vinci Code, because it was the one I watched first. So it's been a really long time. At least half a year. So, I am going to watch it again. But the last
Jean
person...
Reno.
Yes, Jean Reno.
And he was fantastic as well. But
yes.
he is fantastic. Ever since I saw him in The Professional, I've just... any role he's been in. Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh, stop filming right now. We're going to watch it.
I've seen most of Luc Besson's stuff. I actually saw his Valerian movie just a couple days ago. And we can talk about that some other time. But that was incredible. So... but yeah, Jean Reno, the first thing I saw him in was Mission Impossible 1, actually.
fantastic movie.
Yes, it is. I love the Mission Impossible movies, but him as an actor, again, very understated, but in his role in it, I believe he's a good guy, right? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, he's the
He's a good guy who's pretty much tricked by the bishop that Langdon is the killer.
Yeah, that's right.
Because of that, he kind of bends the rules to make sure that he's put away.
Yep, that's true. Yeah,
So
now
he was being used the whole time, but in the end, he was obviously the good guy.
Yeah.
And it just makes, even if he was the villain, I would still love his character. It's just fantastic.
He's a very
he has that presence. He has that
gravitas.
French presence that just of not just authority, but like you said, gravitas.
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic.
Yeah, I really liked him a lot. Yeah. So the whole, like we said, it's the whole cast. Very, very good. I think they elevate them into the source material of the movie that the book is based on, and that's mainly why I think it works so well. The one big key factor of many why it works so well. Usually we talk about effects here and cinematography and all that, and it's all good. It's all very good.
The way it's filmed, and I remember this from the notes that I left at home, but the cinematography was great, especially the use of CGI for filming the scenes from the past.
Yes.
The crusade scenes, or when they're walking into Westminster Abbey and you can see the change from present day to the 1700s.
Yep.
All those, when they did those flashbacks, it was great too, because the way they filmed it, it felt grainy.
Yes.
But when you think about the past, I kind of get that grainy feel. Yeah, it really felt it was in place. It felt it wasn't out of place.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that fit the tone and just what they were going for was showing a flashback, because a flashback isn't supposed to look as clean or clear as like the actual movie is. When we think about it.
Because our memories aren't like Robert Langdon's. They're not like pristine and you remember every fact. There's always that bit of blur when you go back and you look through the classic, oh man, when I was 10.
Yeah.
There's still some blurry memories, and even if you say it's memory burned into you,
Absolutely.
you'll still miss maybe a couple of tidbits.
Yeah. So cinematography in general, great, and especially what you said about the flashback.
Oh, yes.
I need to watch it again because I don't quite remember how it was filmed. Because usually flashbacks are filmed the same way a movie is actually when you think about it, and that's a little lazier than what this movie takes the time to do. So I appreciate that aspect. The action, when it does come in the movie, very satisfying.
It is
sprinkled in and out, actually.
And that's what I like about it, though, because it's more of a thinking movie than it is an action movie.
It doesn't feel like a mindless movie.
Exactly. That being said, Die Hard's one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
but then again, that's different because that has a great script. But that's not here or there. I'm getting off track.
Yeah.
But you have it's Christmas, so I have to talk about Die Hard. So my favorite Christmas movie.
Yep.
But
understandably.
But back to the point is that it's not mindless. Well, some of the violence is mindless, but it fits. It doesn't feel like it's out of place, where it's like, oh, we just had a gratuitous action sequence for the sake of doing the violence in the action sequence.
Just to keep the audience interested, yeah.
Because I feel like the story itself and the performances kind of keeps the audience interested.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And the fact that it's sprinkled out throughout is, like you said, more like a thinking movie. It's not like a mindless movie. And that was really nice because you could tell that the attention to detail and the care that was put into the film was so much more apparent than, say, other films. And I'm not saying Die Hard. Die Hard, completely different animal.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to touch that.
But you don't know, like any cheesy action movie from the 90s or anything like that.
That isn't really considered to be that great. It's just kind of like mindless fun. This is not a mindless fun movie.
And it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a thrill. And that's the thing. It's like thrillers nowadays, they have that stigma where it has to have action.
Yes.
But this is a thriller where it doesn't necessarily need to hold the action.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to score this movie.
Excellent.
All right, I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. That's what I give the Da Vinci Code.
7.5 out of 10. I'm going to actually give it an 8. I might be being a little subjective over objective on this one, but I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree with you.
There are a couple of plot points where it kind of like gets a little long in the tooth, and a couple of characters that kind of just don't seem like they make sense where they are, like the great actor, I'm going to butcher his name, but Jugnauth Procto, he was in Das Boot. Air Force One.
Yeah, he was the guy at the bank.
The bank manager. Well, I felt his character was perfect for the bank, but when he does the 180 and he tries to rob them, I feel it's kind of out of place, and maybe not out of place, but just entirely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because it was just the only purpose was just to get them out of the bank to the next scene.
Yeah, so it felt more like a plot device than really like an actual character.
Exactly.
And it wasn't really needed.
Yeah, once he left the bank, and once he was at the bank and he let them go to look at their security accounts, after that, I'm just like, he's not needed.
You could totally just cut it out.
Exactly.
And like I said, the film is a bit long, so you could have shortened it down just a little bit.
Find some other way to get them out, or just not have the police arrive at all. But I understand. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
And at this point, I'm just carping. So
Yeah, that's true. I digress, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's our score for the Da Vinci Code. Hope people who have watched this are actually inclined to watch it now. And we will talk to you guys when we talk about angels and demons very soon.
Thanks for listening.
Take care, guys.